Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2 and RobZ Realism mod. Super excited to be back here with another battle. We're on the outskirts of Stalingrad. It's the year of 1943. This must be early January, as the battle was more or less concluded in February. So I suppose the German army is more or less pulling out. And we have here a line defense covering the retreat of some division or regiment or brigade or corps or whatever the size of the moving party would be, so to speak. So we have about 3 layers of German defense here. We have the first preliminary layer, which is pretty thin, not overly well defended. They have a few heavier guns, such as the 20mm flak right here, sort of an autocannon. But that's about it. No real AT weapons. I do believe there might be a pack over here. Yes, there is a 50mm Pak 38 right here. In the second layer, well, it's a little better fortified. The trenches are slightly deeper. As you can tell, the soldiers are standing up, so that means more cover. They also have some mortars, more MG42s, and 34s. It's a nice mix, and even more 20mm guns. We have a nice little junction here in the center. More static weapons. Another 50mm pack. And this is nice, because if the Russians break through either side of this center trench, then they have a way of defending themselves from the flank that has just been overrun. So that's a pretty cool idea. We have a few sort of like wooden bunkers back here. These take less than a day to build, so that's very nice. You just dig out the snow, and then you just cut down some trees. And if you're like a whole company doing this, or 2 companies, or a battalion, then it's not going to take a long time at all. It'll be done in an hour or 2. We have a, is this an LF-10 or whatever it's called? The FH-18. LF-10, I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I was thinking of it something entirely different. 105mm howitzer, and that's kind of an early war howitzer, so that's interesting. 2 set up back there, more mortars, and also tanks. We've got one over here, and we do have another one over here. Where is it? There it is. So well camouflaged. Even a 75mm pack joins us up here, which is very nice. That's going to be very good to have, knocking out Russian armor. And there's a few more trench lines here, and a few sort of like wooden bunkers turned into some sort of like crossing between the areas here. There's a small ridge leading in between that can easily be crossed on top, though, but it's going to be more risky to cross on top, as you'll more likely to be shot and stuff like that. So that's the German defense. Very nice. It's a pretty wide line, so we've got lots of things to focus on today. I think it'll be a very, very cool battle. This map has been made by Pershing, and so has the battle. It'll go on for a pretty long time, so I think we'll start about now. Why not? Sometimes I don't really keep an eye on how long I'm doing an intro for, so sometimes you just gotta stop yourself and hit that start button. So the Russians will be attacking with more than 70 tanks and more than 800 infantrymen, which is humongous. The Germans have roughly 200 infantrymen defending various AT and static weapons. Well, the AT gun would be a static weapon, but various anti-infantry and anti-tank weapons, to be more exact. Also artillery in terms of mortars and howitzers, so or in the form of mortars and howitzers. So that should be pretty good. Pershing also told me that if you play this map or battle like 10 times, you're very, very, very likely to get 5 German victories and 5 Soviet victories. So it is a very, very balanced game. And I'm eagerly excited to see who's going to come out victorious this time. This very instance. Also, sorry for not uploading any videos over the last almost week. I was on my country place. If you follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, you would have known. The username is DiplexHeated, so I encourage you to follow me on both of those platforms. I'm a little more active on Snapchat, but Instagram is nice for pictures, and you can see where I'm kind of going and what I'm doing and what's going on. So I would appreciate a follow on both of those platforms, and I also do giveaways and I answer questions. I'm very active on both of those platforms. If you follow me on Snapchat and snap me something or write me something, I'll open it like really quickly. But if it's a question like, hey, my Men of War Assault Squad 2 doesn't start, then I'm probably not going to answer it, because there could be a million reasons why, and there's like a million tech support people online on forums and Steam and Google and whatnot. So keep it related, and if you do, you are bound to get an answer. Ooh, let's focus on the battle now. Oh, this guy caught fire. So yeah, I was just at my country place, just relaxing. Sometimes you need to take a break from the things. But I do appreciate coming back here to a pre-made map and battle. This is very good stuff. 2 Soviet T-34s down so far. I do believe these are the 1942 variant. Could be the 1941. No, this is definitely the 1942 variant. Lots of Russian infantry moving up as well. More Russian armor is supporting. We've only gone through a very few or small number of tanks so far. And I wonder what kind of damage these attacking tanks have done to the German defense. Let's take a look here. Oh, the howitzers back here are going to work. That is so nice to see. I love it when these two howitzers fire. It's so powerful, especially when they fire in like a volley like that. Oh, God, that is nice. So the rear line here is fairly untouched. Oh, that guy was just sniped. Holy shit. That bullet could have come from anywhere. And the preliminary line up here at the front are still kind of holding, running around. Doing their thing. The G41 is here as well. That's very nice. Perhaps a little few too many G41s per squad, but I mean, they didn't produce that weapon in such large numbers. Only about 150 units were made. The G43 was produced in larger numbers than that, I do strongly believe. But that's quite interesting. It's nice to see him use it sometime. There's like a small ridge here in between this trench line and the tanks and infantry on this side. So that's why the tanks get kind of close without any of the guns firing back here. And as soon as they get over the top, they're almost always gonna be hit in the side. Some of them are gonna try and go around, but they're gonna take even more fire from back here. We've got that. Is that a Panzer IV? I do believe it is a Panzer IV, and also that 75mm pack. So that's very nice. We also have a German MG position down here. Some more infantry running up to the front lines. Ooh. So that was a direct hit from the 105 howitzer back there. So that's interesting. It's not going to knock out the tank, but it's going to shake up the crew a little bit. Potentially disable it for a while. How's the preliminary line doing? We still have units defending, and we do have a few very, very cocky German soldiers taking the fight to the Russians, despite the fact that they're on the defensive order here, so to speak. So I'm not entirely sure what motivates them to do that. If a T-34 rolls up on a squad like that, they're probably gonna fall back, and we might see that very soon because we do have a lot of tanks moving up as well. But that's nice to see. Yeah, they're pushing the boundaries here, moving up so much. Oh Lord. One thing, I'm not going to be critical. No, never mind. This is good stuff. This is cool. I love the explosions and all that. Yeah. That's turning into a bit of a celebration for 4th of July over here. An early one. Damn. Cooking, man. That's cooking. Ooh, mortars supporting the very few brave German soldiers who are moving up to try and hold the Russians back. Even more mortar shells are landing. Yeah, I was just going to say he's taking so much fire. But the mortars are still very much active. The Russians need to try and get some tanks up closer to the actual lines back here to try and do more damage. But yeah, there's a lot of drop the Germans around here. This little trench line here was entirely knocked out. There's only a handful of men standing over here. This guy's still trying to fix his jammed MG. He might even be dead. He might have just turned into ice. Who knows? We got all these other people sitting around here. So yeah, this is interesting. Oof. Oh, it's so nice to see a handful of Russians taking cover by the trees there. It really tells a little story in itself. We're going to follow these Russians as they move up with the rest. I love their greatcoats too. And their gloves and all the dark wood on the weapons. Oh, and here's another T-34 moving up. It's hard to tell, like, from both sides here. It's so hard to tell the enemy. And these howitzers back here are still shelling the enemy positions. They're going ham. More German infantry is moving up, but the second defensive line right now is starting to take a lot of heat. Oof. This Panzer IV, though, needs to go down. Is it a Panzer IV? It is a Panzer IV. Of course it is. A Mark F2 or Aus F2. I guess you could say Mark, right? Like, that's the British word for it, but still. Oh, center trench now, starting to get involved with some of the small arms fire. The Russians are definitely getting closer. We do have troops getting closer and closer to the preliminary German defense, but the tanks are still getting kind of halted in their tracks, as you can tell, with the immense fire. This guy took a shot to the turret. He might have lost the turret, like the rotation. No, the rotation is still active. Works. I wonder when they're going to try and nail this German tank over here. If they do get a good hit on it, it'll detonate for sure, because it'll hit the ammo depot in the top turret. It won't hit anything else because it's covered by sandbags. So if they do manage to score a good hit, then that could turn into something pretty nasty. Did you see that? The guy who jumped out of this tank was definitely dressed as a German soldier. Or am I blind? Or am I seeing things? I saw a white silhouette jumping out of the tank, or at least running around near the tank, but I think that was definitely jumping out of the tank. Let's see if we can find that again. Let's see if this tank can get destroyed and if the crew members can jump out. That would be just eye-opening. That would be special. I am not gonna lie. That would be the weirdest thing. But, well, even if it does not get destroyed, we are following a pretty potential unit here that stands a pretty good chance at doing a lot of damage to the German defense. Ooh, howitzer shell. But I wonder what it's got its sights on. It's still a little shook up. Knocked up. It doesn't really know what to do. Oh, come on. They're forming a little firing line here. Lots of MG fire. Oh, well. How's it looking here on the left side? Or left flank? This is such a big battle. You're going to have to watch 1/4 of it at a time. There's a lot of Russian tanks stacking up over here. Oh, jeez. It's cooking off. One Russian tank is getting closer than all the other Russian tanks. It seems to be on a mission. Taking lots of fire, though. I think it's been penetrated. Oh, jeez. Not out yet, though. Ooh. Still firing. Yep, look. Or actually, they're Russians. They're just wearing the German winter camo, which is a little weird. Yeah. But anyway. Now that's confirmed. Or the winter smock, or whatever you want to call it. Winter jacket. Panzer IV back here, knocked out. Howitzers still firing away, but the Russian tanks are actually starting to get closer and closer to the German end positions back here at the far back. And if they break through, they'll hit the retreating German army that's at least trying to get out of Stalingrad. Draco season with a book bag. Rat-tat. A little kickback. Rat-tat got a little kickback. Let's see what's going on. Center line. Our trench kind of crowded with lots of German soldiers. We do have a pack down. So that's something. This is just turning into a very humongous battle. It's kind of slow. Not a lot of things happening in terms of progressing it one way or another. There's just a lot of exchange of fire, long-range combat. Generally looking like the Russians are getting ass kicked right now, but it's different from side to side. Yeah, that Panzer is still kicking. But the German defense is seriously starting to lack now. First and second defense line taking so much casualties. The left side is doing very well up here, though. That pack is still active. Only one soldier remaining. And we also have the Germans on kind of a counterattack. Yeah, a few. Ooh, it looks like a satchel charge. Oh, they're exchanging hand grenades. Damn. Oof. Damn. I feel like there's a few too many MP40s deployed as well. There should generally be per 10 men, 1 MP40, 1 MG, and 8 rifles. Usually bolt action, pretty much. I believe they went down from 10 men to 8 men after 1944. Or like, kind of post D-Day or pre-D-Day, like they changed the German squad numbers. And gave them different weapons, and also when they introduced the STG-44, that became a more of a standard issue weapon for squads as well. In many cases, 1 per squad, I do believe. They tried replacing it with the MP40 was still there, and I think they replaced the they tried replacing the K98 with a few of them. So that's kind of interesting because it fired more or less the same bullet, I do believe. So it's a little interesting. Yeah, this is turning into a tank graveyard here. Good cover for the Russian infantry, but I think we're starting to approach the number of 70 Russian tanks. And so far the Germans must have done amazing if it is what Pershing claims it to be, an entirely even mission. Then again, this might be the end of the German defense on this side. Oh, shit. What happened to the Russian tank? Oh, it's down. Shot through. Pack 38 down here, 50 mil, knocked it out. But they're starting to get to the howitzers and infantry in the rear line over here, and that's pretty much the end of this side. Then there's a defensive line on this side, so if they break and destroy this part over here, the Germans still have this back here, and that's looking pretty good. The howitzers, the mortars, the Pack 40s, some of the 20 mils have been knocked out, but this German Panzer is still kicking, so I do feel as if the Russian assault has been eliminated and defeated. And that is cool. I didn't expect that. I saw a variant of this personally when I kind of played through the other day. I was way too tired to do anything yesterday, but I played through it briefly, and the Russians knocked out at this entire side, and I stopped mid-game. Wasn't recording. Stopped mid-game just to do something else. Just wanted to test it out. So that's cool to see such a huge difference. Obviously you aren't, but Germans sure did pretty well this time around. They even have soldiers out here running around, kind of like scouting the area, looking for stragglers. Looks like they have indeed stopped the Russian assault. Thank you guys for watching this massive battle. I hope you enjoyed it. It was also nice, kind of like a smooth, relaxing, kind of not overly distracting welcome back video. Just I'm back, explained what's going on, and we watched some good ass action. So, oh man, look at this. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon again. Ciao.